Hey everybody, welcome to the Rochester Press Box. I'm Tariq Spence filling in for Bill Puckle. He'll be back next week. And joined this week by Carl Falk, of course, from Is the Show. You got to say it very carefully because if I say it wrong, you can get in trouble, right, Carl?
Yes, you can. It's the Falkin Around Podcast. See, it just rolls off the tongue, Tariq.
Yeah, you're right. It does for someone named Carl Falk. And meanwhile, Pat Duffy also joins us as well with a Warriors jersey.
Oh, this is my favorite. You don't have a Mike Dunleavy Jr. rookie number 10 jersey? Like, this used to be my favorite jersey to wear in the summertime, and I haven't been able to wear it for like 8 years because everyone thinks I'm a bandwagon fan now when I put it on. Like, they used to be really bad where it was like fun and ironic, and now I look like a total jerk putting it on.
We were talking about this off air with the NFL, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys. The fact that, Carl, here we are, the league is now expanding 17 games, 18 weeks. It looks like it'll now go towards President's Day for the Super Bowl. Your thoughts on the league expanding it and the money involved with it?
You just hit on it. It's money. It's all that matters. I remember, I'm old enough to remember when the words player safety were like the buzzword in the NFL. We're all about player safety. How can you tell me that you're concerned about player safety, yet you're adding another game? And I heard Roger Goodell try to spin it that there are more injuries during preseason games than there are during regular season games. So it's actually safer because they're eliminating the preseason game. Yeah, okay, I really believe that. The television deals that got done a couple weeks ago, this is why the Rays came in. It's another week of television. It's another week of revenue. It's all the owners have cared about. They wanted to get to 18 games. The Players Association settled at 17. I don't think it's a good idea for the league, but at the same time, it works out well for everyone's fantasy leagues that are in 12-team fantasy leagues because now you can play till the 16th week of the season.
Pat, your thoughts on this expanding to 17 games quickly, too, where it looks like we're starting this year?
Yeah, I mean, everything Carl said, valid point. I mean, but look, when you want to point out the hypocrisy of the NFL, you don't have to look very far, right? Like, I'm even done. But here's where it benefits the players, right? Like, Alvin Kamara comes out and says it's stupid or whatever the heck he said. The superstar players are not happy with this, but it's the guys that aren't the superstar players that will be, because the average NFL career lasts between 3.5 and 4 seasons. That's 3 to 4 extra game checks that those guys are going to see. And those are significant game checks. We're talking between $10,000 and $50,000, depending on how much these guys are making all the way through. It's an extra $250,000 that these guys are going to make in a career in the NFL. That's good for them. And then you added the playoff team, too. You could add another game check or two for a couple of those guys. You're going to have, and there's already discussion of expanding the roster, so you could have 2 or 3 more guys dressing on game day. You could have 5 or 10 more guys making an NFL roster. I mean, guys that wouldn't get jobs are going to get jobs. When you look at it from that point of view, yes, it's all about the money. The NFL is looking to make more money, fine. But there are going to be some benefits from players that aren't making, the $15 million, $20 million guaranteed dollars a year.
Well, we'll ask about one NFL team, one Buffalo Bills, coming up next here on the Rochester Press Box. Thank you for watching. I'm Tariq Spence filling in for Bill Puckle. That Bill segment is coming up next.
Original Bay Goodman Pizza, located on the corner of North Winton at Browncroft. There are 3 ways to get the original Bay & Goodman delivery. Go to baygoodman.com.
Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. Tariq Spence here for Bill Puckle. He'll be in by next week, hopefully. But until then, Buffalo Bills segment, Pat Duffy going forward. It looks like Brandon Beane has been talking a little bit about extending this contract for Josh Allen. I said Josh has got to secure the bag. You say Josh has got to secure the bag. Are you worried about a franchise tag?
No, I think that gets done before that. Look, if I'm Brandon Beane, I'm literally kicking down his door every single day so another quarterback contract doesn't get done that could screw up what the Bills are trying to do here. Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield all are also going to have to sign around the same time Josh Allen is, right? The fact that Dak Prescott got the money he got raised how much Josh Allen potentially was going to get paid. I don't think... I mean, Josh Allen knows where he's slotted. He's below Patrick Mahomes. He's above Dak Prescott, and right now everything else doesn't matter. So... you've been preparing for this for a couple of years. Brandon Beane knows what it's going to take to get done. That's why they're signing guys to shorter-term deals right now. No franchise tag. Just do it before somebody else makes a mistake with their quarterback.
Carl, are you a little bit worried now? Dak Prescott gets his contract. Patrick Mahomes, I know that's a huge contract, but are you worried that the Allen contract, there's a little bit of hesitation here?
Well, I think if I'm Brandon Beane, I don't want to do it this offseason. I could pick up his fifth-year option, so you've got year 4 at a very reasonable rate with the reduced salary cap. Next year, the fifth-year option, it goes up substantially. Next year is when I want to do this, because then the contract kicks in when the new television money that we were just talking about kicks in. The salary cap will be greater. And plus, let's be honest, Josh had 2 years that we were all questioned, and then a great breakout year. I need to see more before I guarantee him $40 million for 10 years, and that's what it's going to be. I need to see to make sure that he's the guy we saw last year. I think he is, but are you ready to invest 10 years at $40 million on that?
Duffy, you have this look on your concern on your face right now.
I mean, like, what more do you need to see from the kid? Like, the step he took from year 2 to year 3 is unprecedented. It's like it's something I've never seen.
That's why I'm nervous.
Okay, fine. I understand that. Look, his numbers are going to go down, right? Like, it's impossible for him, especially if the Bills do what they have to do offensively, go get him a running game and someone to be able to work short, where his numbers don't go down. And that's going to be the problem too, right? Is Bills fans, Carl, if you wait for the next offseason to get this deal done, right? You're going to see the numbers dip, and you're going to have an argument from people in the national media as to why he doesn't deserve this money. It's going to cause a schism potentially between Josh Allen, the agent, and Brandon Beane. Here's my fear. And okay, fine, valid point. Maybe he takes a step backwards. I think you're still paying him. What are you going to do? You're going to look at a guy that was second in MVP voting, brought your team to the AFC Championship for the first time in a quarter century, and go, well, last year wasn't as what we hoped for, so we're not going to pay you as much? What if during the season Baker Mayfield has a good first 4 or 5 weeks and they get a major deal done? Same with Lamar Jackson, a Ryan Fitzpatrick situation. Both of those teams could be dumb enough to do it. All you are doing is costing yourself more money every second you wait not signing Josh Allen.
Sooner to get it done than later. Meanwhile, Bobby Hart, offensive line, signs to the Bills. Do you like that deal, Pat?
Not after watching some tape of Bobby Hart, but look, I mean, it's offensive line depth, and who the heck knows if he makes the roster anyway. If there's one thing I'm not really concerned about right now, it's the Bills' offensive line. The 5 starters did not start once together, play together once all last season. So there's still some question marks, and I think it's only positive more than negative.
And does anybody, Carl, know the name of the new stadium? I have no idea why they're renaming the stadium yet again. What is it? Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York. Is that the full name, Pat? I'm not quite sure. Either one of you can answer.
Yeah, I believe that is the full name. They're going to try to go with Highmark Stadium. Let me ask a question, because I just don't get this. Why do insurance companies that make so much money by just raising their rates, why do they continue to advertise? We need them. I mean, are you going to go with Highmark now that they're the Bills stadium sponsor? Is there a worse company to advertise or doesn't need to advertise than a health insurance company? Really? Blue Cross Arena befuddled me for years, and now I've got another one in Buffalo to wonder why the hell they're advertising.
Great point. That is a great point. Well, look, didn't they try that with the soccer stadium downtown? You saw the heck that worked out. Where are you going? Marina Auto Stadium. I mean, Salem Stadium. I mean, Rhino Stadium. I don't even know where it is at. Who's not going anymore? And now it's got holes and it's leaking. So, no, let's not do that. Let's not do that thing.
Didn't realize an outdoor stadium could leak, but maybe I'm wrong. Coming up next.
Hole in the roof.
Apparently so. Coming up next, like it or not, you're watching the Rochester Press Box.
Here's the Press Box trivia question, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390.
All of these things show Josh Allen has a strive for greatness inside of him.
Falkin Around with Carl Falk. New episodes every Tuesday on Rock Sports Now.
Here's the Press Box trivia answer, brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390.
Are you facing criminal charges from a DWI and feel that you never imagined it could happen to you? Contact attorneys with years of experience as prosecutors and defenders. Contact Ganguly Brothers Law today for a free consultation. You can put your trust in us. Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. And this segment of the Rochester Press Box, like it or not, is being brought to you by Ganguly Brothers Law, attorneys with years of experience defending the accused. Don't go unprepared with less. Contact Ganguly Brothers Law today. All right, Carl, let's see what's going on with the Brooklyn Nets. They've added 2 more players, LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin, last time we talked. And they seem to be assembling the Avengers. Do you like it or not?
Well, it's strange when you look at what they've assembled. You know, obviously the super team thing came along when LeBron went down to Miami with Bosh and Wade. But you look at this super team. Kevin Durant coming off an Achilles and has been in and out of the lineup all year. Kyrie had a birthday party to attend, so he missed a week of playing, and the moon's still flat, or the world's still flat in his mind. James Harden got fat, got his way out of Houston. He's playing great basketball, and then Blake Griffin, who had his first couple dunks of the year, couldn't jump anymore. Aldridge got waived by a terrible San Antonio team. It's not like these guys are all at their peak. Yet they're, in my opinion, the best team in the East. I just don't know if they're a true super team in the way that we think of super teams.
The other concern I have here, Pat, I wanted to get your thoughts on this as well. Steve Nash is a first-year coach. It's not like you got a veteran coach in there that can sort of push these guys and get them into shape and get them into playoff shape and go for a ring. This is a lot for a first-year coach.
And you're asking a first-year coach of Steve Nash. Tariq, you know how I've been on this all season, that Steve Nash is in a lot of trouble when this all eventually hits the you-know-what. He's going to have to ask guys that aren't used to doing gritty roles to participate in gritty roles. Like when I see these signings, where's Eddie House? Where's Tony Allen? Right? Where's Derek Fisher? Where's Rasheed Wallace? Where are the guys that are going to do the things that the superstars aren't going to do? You don't really have any of those guys on that roster right now. When push comes to shove and you get in a little bit of trouble, in a third, fourth, fifth game of a playoff, well, 1, where does the ball go? And 2, who's going to do what nobody else wants to do? That's where trick-or-treat Tony Allen or Eddie House shows up and makes a name for himself.
We shall see what happens here. Meanwhile, Pat, Trevor Lawrence, number 1 pick in the draft. We all know that. He's not going to Cleveland for the draft. He will be, I think, around family or friends for the draft. What do you think about that, like it or not?
I do love how people still buy into this old down-homey stuff. Like, oh, he wants to be with his friends and family, and that's sweet. That's not why he's doing it, right? He's doing what Baker Mayfield did, because he made the same move when he was drafted first overall. Baker Mayfield was filmed the entire time he was doing his thing, took his story and sold it. And it's a smart move by Baker Mayfield, and it's a smart move by Trevor Lawrence, because when they go to New York, all of these draft picks, they're giving the NFL free content to sell, and they're not making any money. Control it yourself. Make the money Baker Mayfield made. The money Trevor Lawrence is going to make, he should make it too. But let's not buy into this whole, he's going to be fishing with his grandpappy out in the pond and then come in and see that he's been drafted. No, man. It's a business move and good for the kid.
Pretty cool. He's going to stay at Clemson, and you know what that means. That means he's going to be partying his ass off leading up to it because he's the number 1 overall pick. And if you're a college kid, what's better than that, really? I think it's smart of the kid. And, the NFL, for us, the fans, it means one less Roger Goodell bro hug that we need to witness and go, seriously, dude, you're doing it again? So I'm in favor of it.
We are less than a month away from the draft looking in. Duffy, any Bills drafts you're interested in yet before we go?
I mean, well, no, that's just it. First of all, we're a month away, so I am not even close to prepared. But the best part is I'm not prepared looking at Bill stuff because they can do anything they want here. They can take a running back. They can take a quarter. They can take a defensive end. They can take a defensive lineman. They can take a linebacker at depth. I mean, they can do tight end, whatever the heck they want. And as long as that player they think is going to pan out, good for them. Fantastic. High fives all around.
Carl, you got to love his confidence right now. He hasn't even looked at it because he knows his team is stacked.
Yeah. The offseason has been more interesting than the draft, and adding guys for depth now has been pretty fun. But I think if I'm Brandon Beane, I'm hoping that somebody calls and says, hey, we want to trade up to 30, and I could back into the second round, get multiple seconds, multiple thirds. When you're building a team for depth, and that's where the Bills are right now, that's a great way to do it.
To Carl's point that, there's still 23 open roster spots as we tape this thing right now. It would make sense if you could move back and take multiple players, get guys that you're drafting, not free agents that'll struggle to make the roster.
We have to mark this tape because if they actually do that, you guys would be geniuses. I just wanted to let you know that.
Oh, I still hate it, by the way. It's a good idea, but in the moment I would hate it. If I stay up all night and they don't pick at 30, I will lose my mind.
And we will love it. That's what's going to be great about it. Go ahead, Carl.
I'll think of you if it happens, Duff.
We'll all be in a group text with one another. Unfinished business coming up next. You're watching the Rochester Press Box. The Press Box Stat of the Week is being brought to you by McArdle's Restaurant in Fairport. McArdle's is open 7 days a week with dining available indoors and out, takeout and delivery. Come home to McArdle's.
Came now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back to the Rochester Press Box. Unfinished business. Pat Duffy fires off first.
Never say it can't get any worse than it is, because the Buffalo Sabres went into a game against the Philadelphia Flyers earlier this week at 17 straight losses, one short of tying the modern record for most games without a win in a season straight. And see, I was playing hockey that night. It was Tuesday night, the premature shooter, so I had my own thing going on. I get out of the rink halfway through the second period, and the Sabres are up 3-0. And I get home as I'm listening to the radio. I can't believe it. As I hop into bed, because I get up early to do radio, they're up 3-0 with the start of the third. And then all of a sudden, the wheels fell off. You had an opportunity to end a 17-game skid before you made the legitimate record books as one of the worst losers of all time. And they allowed 3 unanswered goals in the third period, the last one being scored with 1 minute and 26 seconds left. And they lost the game in overtime to a team that had healthy scratched in the Flyers, their starting goalie that night. All right. This season hurts. And it's hard to watch this team, even though I feel obligated and I've watched every second. It's very dumb of me. But to feel that kind of pain, to have your heart ripped out like that in a game where they had lost the 16 previous games to it, is a sadness and despair that I have yet to reckon in my head. Just get this season over with, figure out what you're going to do with this coach and this roster, and make me stop watching this team that just keeps hurting me over and over again.
I'm not going to talk about anything quite so sad as that, because we really don't want to bring you down here on the Press Box. But I want to talk about another thing that changed because of COVID. The NCAA basketball, the bubble is going on right now, and we're in the Final Four, and everything's been fun to watch with that. But behind the scenes, there's a new rule that COVID sparked that if a kid transfers, he doesn't have to sit out a year. They enter the transfer portal, and then they can negotiate new scholarship, new contract, same thing, with another school. And we've seen it at Syracuse with Kadari Richmond, Robert Braswell, all moving on, and that's a big loss for the Orange. But nationwide, there's over 1,000 kids in the transfer portal. College coaches who love to control everything no longer can control these kids, because you have a freshman who you're controlling and you're beating down every day in hopes of him being a great sophomore or junior. Well, guess what? That kid doesn't want to listen to you anymore because you're a tired old man, and he's going to go somewhere else where somebody's maybe a little better. It's something that changed in college basketball, and if coaches don't change with it, they're going to be left behind as well.
Which brings me to my point about college basketball, the Blue Bloods. There really isn't any more Blue Bloods in college basketball because of what Carl was just talking about. These young kids have a different formative view and a place that they would like to go. Sure, you got your top 2 teams, 2 number 1s, a number 2, and a number 11 is your final 4 teams. But what's great about it is there's no such thing as Blue Bloods anymore. Duke isn't Duke anymore. Kentucky isn't Kentucky anymore. UCLA used to be the original Blue Blood. They're just getting back into the tournament. Michigan, of course, for years has been great, but never able to win a championship. There's no such thing as Blue Bloods. So let's play what we have. The kids that want to play at Gonzaga, which is probably the best Blue Blood team that's left in the tournament, let them play it out and see where they go from here. My whole thing about this whole concern about the traditional teams aren't there anymore, it doesn't really matter because the field is spread out so much that the talent could come from anywhere. Let's enjoy the tournament for what it is and be happy we have it this year at all. That's Unfinished Business. And of course, Carl Falk, appreciate having you. Thank you for your segment that led right into my segment, which was exactly that. Let's just let these kids play.
Exactly. It's a different world. And fortunately, we had a great segue there.
And of course, let me just say this, folks, don't get on Pat Duffy about the Warriors jersey. He was a fan of the team before they were good when they were terrible.
I wasn't even a fan of the team. I just wanted to look ironic when I was like walking down Park Ave Fest when I was 25 years old. And everyone's like, oh, what are you, who's got a Mike Dunleavy Jr. number 10 jersey? I'm going for jersey clout. I wasn't going fan of the team, man. What?
Okay. I just went. You should have just went with fan of the team. Yeah, you should have went with just fan of the team and just rode it out into the break. Until then, have a great day.